Here we go again. If you know me, you know by now that I tried predicting the Danganronpa fan project, Kill Cure Beautiful Vice. So guess what? I'm gonna do it again! Tetro Danganronpa Pink is a Finnish audio drama based on the Danganronpa formula. 16 students are taken to Fujioka Memorial High School and are put against each other in a killing game. The series relies less on visuals and more so on heavy storytelling via fully voiced character dialogue. It's pretty good if you asked me. I would highly recommend you watch the entire Pink season before watching this video. Anyway, with this season coming to an end, Tetro Danganronpa Blue now takes the stage. An all-new cast is thrown into a laboratory to kill each other, similarly to the Pink cast. Many will enter while few will leave. Who will live and who will die? That's what I'm here to predict. But before we begin, there will be spoilers for Tetro Danganronpa Pink and the mainline Danganronpa trilogy. If you haven't watched Pink or played the trilogy yet, what are you doing? Anyway, without further ado, let's start. Now, let's talk Isada. They're a singer, a famous one at that, as we hear their song being played in Tei's introduction. That being said, I feel as if quite a few of the students are going to recognize Isada and treat them like an idol. Now, here's the thing. Tei is a disgruntled worker, forcing a smile to appease customers while truly feeling dismayed toward his situation. As he has likely been hearing Isada's song all the time at his jobs, Tei will probably try to keep a figurative mask on for a bit, until eventually snapping on Isada. Everyone will be surprised at this and shun Tei for it, although at some point Isada will end up as the first victim. Despite the seemingly important role they'd play, there would be the shocker first death. But who would possibly kill Isada? Not Tei, actually. I'm actually going to say Akiba, due to some sort of bromance being hinted at between them. Also, Akiba seems to be somewhat of a flirt, and I could see someone like him folding under the pressure first despite his nonchalant exterior. Now, let's change things up a bit. While Tetro Pink did have some characters that were more relevant than others, it didn't entirely center around one person. Seeing as how I focused on some of the boys last chapter, we'll take a look at some of the girls. Kumada and Ogura will end up warming up to each other as they both are small girls with attitudes. Yokoi will try to guide everyone in the right direction as well as try to connect with Ono, who will wall herself off after Isada's death. Although she isn't able to get to Kumada and Ogura because they're in too deep together, she is still able to act as a beacon of hope for the others. Den tries to lift the burden off of Yokoi's shoulders but dies instead. Eventually, by the end of the trial, the group is able to figure out that Kumada killed Den, as the latter was trying too hard to get the former to join the group. It will be kind of like a Chihiro and Mondo type situation, probably triggering some trauma within Kumada. Alright, so we're at the midpoint now, and some characters are starting to feel the pressure. Yaidabashi tries to fill the void Den left and helps Yokoi with her duties, while Tsukigata relies more heavily on Ikeda, who up to this point has been shady but not anything more. Nishiguchi condemns Akiba and Kumada as killing is indeed bad, but ends up getting into it with Ogura, who wants to defend her late friend. Now, at some point, someone will die again, and this time, it will be Yaidabashi. His death would occur during the one moment Yokoi has her eyes off of him. But that's not all. Nishiguchi is found dead as well. Once again, we have our double murder, and the one who killed Nishiguchi will end up being Ogura. At some point, she had enough of Nishiguchi's constant criticisms and decided to commit a murder just like Kumada. Meanwhile, the group also discovers that Tsukigata is responsible for Yaidabashi's death. But which killer are they supposed to vote for? Well, in the end, Yaidabashi died first, and Tsukigata is the one to be executed, but not before he crashes out in French. Yokoi understands that he was really manipulated by Ikeda, who wanted to use him to bring down the number of survivors, because all he sees this as is a numbers game. Once enough people are dead, he will be allowed to leave. It's survival of the fittest, and frankly, why should he care about these people he doesn't even know? It's chapter 4, and we're running out of food! The group is getting hostile, yet some look to Yokoi for guidance. She doesn't really know what to do, but she stays strong for the others. One night, however, Dr. Muranaga is sent to restock their food. This would be a big mistake, as he is ambushed, captured, and gets the shit beaten out of him. In the morning, everyone else is like, what the fuck happened? Who is this guy? The thing is that he's in critical condition from that night, so Hirose has to operate on him. As the days go by, tensions only get higher, as hunger runs rampant due to someone attacking their food supplier. Eventually, it is revealed that Maikawa attacked Muranaga, which leads to her isolating herself from the others. Surprisingly enough, she'll end up hanging out with Ogura, as the two are kind of like outsiders to the group now. Finally, Muranaga is able to make a recovery and ends up spilling some secrets to the group. Secrets about the previous killing game and its participants. He mentions Okazaki being Dr. Yonakura's daughter, which causes Ninomiya to lose his shit. Eventually, Monomoko gets Muranaga the hell out of there, where he'll likely end up being silenced. The next day, Maikawa is missing her prosthetic leg, or arm, whatever you prefer, and Hirose is found dead. Ogura is obviously suspected, but eventually let off the hook as the group discovers that Ikeda actually stole Maikawa's leg, or arm, whichever you prefer, and beat Hirose to death with it. That brings up the question, would Maikawa really be considered the killer because her leg, or arm, whichever you prefer, is considered an extension of her body? Yes. So she gets executed. Okay, final chapter time. Ikeda is now treated like the grim fucking Reaper, and everyone decides to stay the hell away from him. Yokoi is obviously traumatized by these events and develops a sort of savior complex. Her, Ogura surprisingly, and Shishikura want to avoid another death at all costs, while Tei, Ninomiya, and Ono see it as an inevitability. They try searching for clues relating to the facility they're trapped in and signs of Muranaga's secrets, yet to no avail. In the end, it turns out to be all for naught, as the last victim is discovered to be Ikeda. Now, this trial I feel will be quite similar to the 5th trial of Danganronpa 2, where Ikeda sets up his own death as an impossible murder. But something's wrong. Someone else needed to have assisted him in this, but they're just out of clues. When all hope seems lost, one last bit of evidence is brought up, which leads the group to discover Yokoi as the killer. Her reasoning behind this was that she and Ikeda wanted to put an end to these killing games for good. By creating an impossible scenario, Monomoko wouldn't know who the killer is, and by that logic, they'd have a rigged trial. By discounting the credibility of the killing games, they wished to end the killing games, so no more people could be harmed. However, it would likely require the sacrifice of every currently surviving student, as she thought Monomoko would rig the trial to kill everyone. In the end, the group decides to vote for Yokoi, choosing their lives over the lives of other future killing game victims. Yokoi forgives them and takes her punishment with hopes that one day these tragedies can come to an end. Or something like that, I don't really know. Ignore my sloppy writing and just focus on the main ideas. And with that, my Tetro Danganronpa Blue fanfiction is complete. These are my final predictions regarding Death Order. Keep in mind that we barely know these characters, so I might be dead wrong on their actions and their relationships. I simply don't have enough foresight to guess this accurately. But hey, it's fun to try. That being said, give me your predictions down in the comments below, and that will be all.